If you've been following along in the Snare Saturday series, then you have heard from time to time my snare drum starts to detune while I play it. And I've even mentioned how this happens and I have to find a solution. Well, not only have I found a solution, it's one where it looks like you haven't added anything to your drum. So in this Snare Saturday video, you're gonna find out about this simple accessory and how it'll make sure your drum stays in tune. Yo, what's going on everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video, I'm gonna be showing you the Bolt Tight, an accessory by Canopus drums that will make sure your drum stays in tune. Unlike other accessories that do the same exact thing, installing the Bolt Tight to your drum does not change the aesthetic look of it. So you're not gonna have any plastic pieces on the top of your tension rods, and you don't need to install any type of threading lock mechanism to the bottom of the tension rod. Now before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. Regardless of the type of drummer that you are, whatever style that you decide you want to play, or if you're a live, maybe even a session musician, there is one thing that every drummer has to deal with, and that is the drum detuning while you play. And there are a couple factors that can cause this to happen. One, if they are new drum heads, they stretch out, or maybe the climate is changing, which causes those drum heads to expand and contract. But besides those outliers, the one thing for sure is that since we are physically striking a drum, the tension rods can start to back out over time, which leads to a bunch of accessories to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, most of these items are pieces of plastic that you attach to the head of a tension rod. And the concept behind it is that if the tension rod is starting to back out and turn, that piece of plastic catches on the hoop itself. But one thing's for sure, you can see all of these items installed on a drum. That is where the Bolt Tight by Canopus drums comes into play. These are washers that go above and below the metal washer on your tension rod. That way when you apply tension to the tension rod, it locks everything into place. This design is so simple because it's just washers that you're adding to your tension rod. And you're not really going to be able to see them unless you have a close-up view of a drum. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of the tension rods nowadays have a metal washer that you can't remove. Well, Canopus is aware of that too, and they sell tension rods that already have the Bolt Tight washers installed to them. So you simply remove the tension rods from your drum and install these instead. Either option of the Bolt Tight system, whether it is just the washers by itself or with the tension rods, come in a few configurations. Just the washers themselves come in 20 and 40 packs, because if you have a 10 lug drum and you wanted to apply these to every lug, you're going to need 20 of them in total just for one side. So you're going to need 40 of them if you wanted to do both. Now, the tension rods that have the Bolt Tights already installed on them come in packets of 20. However, they come in 4 different lengths: 35 millimeters, 42 millimeters, 52 millimeters, and 65 millimeters. And if you are an American like myself who doesn't use the metric measuring system, you're using freedom measurements like inches and feet, Canopus is aware of this, which is why they provide you with this nice guide so you can identify the drum brand that you have, the depth of the shell, and whether or not it has a single or separate lug system. For this video, I am going to be installing the tension rods that already have the Bolt Tight system installed to them to my 6.5 by 14 pewter copperphonic snare drum from Ludwig. So when I pick up this guide here and I look Ludwig snare drum, single lug, 6.5 inch depth, Canopus recommends that I use the 65 millimeter tension rods. With this video, these are not brand new heads, because with brand new heads, they do stretch, which can cause the drum to detune. These heads have been placed on this drum for a little bit and are seated really well. There's still a ton of life to them, but they are past that break-in period, meaning that when the drum detunes, it's because a lug is starting to back out. So let's go ahead and play this drum without the Bolt Tight system installed and listen in to see if you start to hear the drum detune. Now I'm going to swap out the 3 tension rods that are closest to me with the Bolt Tight tension rods, and let's listen again to see if there's a difference with the drum detuning as I play. As you can see in here, this is a simple fix if you have a snare drum that detunes while you play. And that's whether the lugs are backing out on the top or even the bottom. So if you are looking to get the Bolt Tights for yourself, I have put affiliate links for both just the washers and the tension rods in the description below. That way you can get exactly what you need. And if you have any other additional questions, you can leave that in the comment section below. I'd also love to get your feedback in what you thought of the Bolt Tight system, so make sure that you leave that in the comment section as well. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see some of the earlier videos from the Snare Saturday series, I put a link to the playlist in the description below, and I'll also have it come up right here to make it a bit easier for you. Also, if you want to hear this pewter copperphonic snare drum through a few more tunings, I've put a link to that video in the description below, and I'll also have that come up as well to make it a bit easier for you to check out. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Not only does that make it easier for other folks to find it, it supports the channel. And if you are looking for additional ways to support the channel, you can subscribe, hit the bell icon, or sign up for a membership to the channel where you can get some exclusive perks. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on the Bolt Tight accessory from Canopus Drums. And until next time, see you later.